Divorce Day Diaries, day 89 and 90, and I like Mondays. Usually because of one of two reasons. Either one, I've been dealing with raising 4 kids a week and now I get a whole week off, or two, after being by myself all week, I finally get to see them again. And it's one of those weeks. And then not only that, it's back to school this week.
Now, when the kids aren't here, I like to turn their rooms into short-term time capsules. I pretty much just lock them up exactly as they were when they left them, although I do tend to make their beds and sometimes clean their sheets as well. I also like to do all their washing that was left behind, and then I lay it out for them. Except for my 4-year-old, I do his washing for him, but the rest of them do their washing when they get back to my place. But as you can imagine, on these winter months, these rooms get quite cold being locked up all week. So Monday morning, I like to go around and open them all up just to get some warmth in there. So by the time they come around, they're feeling nice and cozy again. And my 2 oldest kids my son's getting his next book in the Dogman series, and my daughter's getting the book that I bought yesterday. Or at least it was yesterday when I filmed this, more specifically Sunday. But anyway, I also like to make sure that I put the dishwasher on and just kind of reset the dishes before the kids get here, regardless of how many dishes are in the actual dishwasher. And then I make sure to do any clothing that I've got, bring it all in, put away the clothing horse, because otherwise the young kids will turn it into a jungle gym. I also need to make sure that the Kai box is properly stocked. It looked a bit low this week. I might need to get a bit more, but there are some bars hidden underneath everything. And make sure that the sandwich making station is set up as well. We've got all new spreads this week because they all ran out at the same time last time the kids were here, so they'll appreciate that. And then when I was on my lunch break today, I actually noticed a casualty from the high winds last week. Looks like one of the small trees in the backyard broke, so that's another thing I need to tell the landlord. But after the longest 6 hours of my life, eventually it was time to go and get the kids. And after a brief walk in the sun, I finally see them again. And it just feels so good. The house feels like home again. There's noise. There's little feet running around. Mostly I have 3 of them. My oldest daughter is over at cheer practice. But what I like to do is they tend to get home around about 6, 6:15. So I like to prep dinner and make sure that it's ready exactly as she arrives, which is kind of easy most days because I just do like a pasta, and it's really easy to just throw the meat on 20 minutes before she gets here and throw the pasta in 10 minutes before she gets here. Today I'm doing garlic bread as well, which is probably more expensive than the entire rest of the meal combined, thanks to the butter alone. But I just chop these buns in half, throw some butter on them, roughly cut some garlic. It's a lot better if you remember in advance and roast the garlic slowly, but I never remember to do that. And then chuck that on with a bit of cheddar cheese, chuck it in the oven, and then that makes a perfect side to go with the pasta. And then the next day, it was just back to normality, walking to school, dropping the kids off. Well, I mean, it was sort of normal. The weather conditions were a bit different than usual. Ooh, the moisture in the fog is so thick, it's like collecting on my mustache. It's wet. But this morning was a good example of why I use a list and most of the kids have to self-manage because... it's their first day back at school after the holidays. Well, no, second, but first day at this house. So we're trying to find gloves and beanies and all sorts. And we were about halfway to school when I realised my 4-year-old wasn't wearing any shoes. Fortunately, his teachers thought that's hilarious, but I have to head back on my smoko and drop him off some shoes in case he ever wants to play outside today. It's supposed to be a warm 13 degrees once the fog lifts. Just kidding, Alexa was telling Porkies with this one, as here I am on my lunch break, still in fog, and it felt like it got colder, honestly, but I will catch you on the flip side.